Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tampa. I'm Diana Stevens, your worship associate for this virtual service on January 23rd, 2022. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we are unable to gather together in person, but we are fortunate to be able to gather together in spirit. Thank you to everyone who is helping to make this possible. Welcome to this opportunity to be together. This is a time to celebrate and acknowledge the joy, comfort, and sometimes the challenges we face as a community. Today, we have a special treat. Modern folk music duo Friction Farm is a husband and wife team of traveling troubadours. Aidan Quinn and Christine Stay combine storytelling, social commentary, and humor to create songs of everyday life, local heroes, and quirky observations. Friction Farm's latest CD, Evidence of Hope, was released a year into a pandemic that kept them home for the longest stretch ever. They wrote like their lives depended on it, inspired by everything around them in real life and virtual life. Witnessing the collision of strong political polarity with personal kindness, the intersection of fragility and breathtaking beauty, they found hope. Welcome, Friction Farm.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Aidan is going to read our chalice lighting. And we have a vessel, but we have no candle and we have no lighter. But we do have imaginations. And you know, the light always comes from within you anyway.
It's the action, not the fruit of the action, that's important. You have to do the right thing. It may not be in your power, may not be in your time, that there will be any fruit. But that doesn't mean you stop doing the right thing. You may never know what results come from your action. But if you do nothing, there will be no results. From Mahatma Gandhi. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4.
If we try, we can change the world, you and I. There's a teacher at my daughter's school. Somehow she makes it seem cool to like complex calculations and poetry. It's a shame how little she gets paid, but I let her know she makes the grade when I vote to increase her salary. It's not much, but it's something I can do. Just a little thing, but if you do it too, we can make a difference if we try. To meet because they look and act a little differently. That might not change how people think, but sharing dinner and a drink says different is alright by me. It's not much, but it's something I can do. Just politicians and the government for how money is made and money is spent. Well, the truth is, both of them are us. So I will change the way I think, help people swim instead of sink, share the joy of being generous. It's not much, but it's something I can do. Just a little thing, but if you do it too, we can make a difference if we try. We can change the world, you and I. We will change the world, you and I.
You should mention our volume.
Hmm?
You should mention volume.
So as we sing, if we get a little bit loud for you, you can adjust the volume on your own computer, and that should help things out. We'll try not to get too loud. So we can change the world if we try. Really? Little things, do they actually matter? Because I'm a busy person. I'm a self-employed writer and touring performer, part of this little two-person operation that has to get everything done. So I don't really have a lot of spare time or energy or money. And I bet you feel the same way. But there are a ton of things in my life that need attention now. There are a ton of things in my community that need attention now. In our country, there are things that need my attention now. And now I've gotten exhausted all over again just thinking about it. And I've often felt unsure of how I can make a difference, just me. Well, a while back, Aiden and I were feeling a little soft in the middle. And we have the good fortune of having in our circle somebody who is a fitness manager at a YMCA. So we asked for some advice. And he suggested we take some classes. But you know, time, travel, blah, blah. We totally weren't going to do that. And he rolled his eyes and said, well, how about 50 seconds? Can you give me 50 seconds? Really? But what he suggested was that every day we do a plank for 50 seconds. 6 days a week. We could take a day off. And then to let him know how we felt in a month or two. I thought that was ridiculous. But Aiden, he started doing it. And then I felt like super lazy for not even doing 50 seconds, so I started doing it too. And frankly, it didn't feel like I was doing anything. But after a little bit, I looked at the timer, and 50 seconds had already elapsed, and I wasn't in pain. So I upped it to a minute, and then 75 seconds, and then I was adding another exercise, and I was actually getting stronger. Less than a minute a day had made me a little bit stronger. I was finding 2 minutes a day, not just 50 seconds. And slowly I developed a very short, somewhat consistent practice of activity. And it's sustainable and it's worthwhile. Well, at that time, everything I was reading about exercise said for it to matter, you have to do at least 30 minutes 3 times a week, 90 minutes a week. And I was doing what, 5 minutes? But it worked. I mean, I'm not saying I was as strong or as fit as if I had done 90 minutes a week, but it made a noticeable difference. 5% of the recommended time worked. It did something. And it made me wonder, would 5% make a difference in any other corner of my life? Well, Aiden and I had committed to trying to adjust our lifestyle to be less impactful on the environment and on the planet. So, could 5% make any difference there? Well, I read that one of the things an individual can do to really reduce their carbon footprint is to become vegan. Well, we travel a lot. Other people feed us a lot, so that didn't seem very practical. And to be perfectly honest, I'm saying that because I really didn't want to do it. But one meal a week is 5%. I could certainly eat a vegan meal once a week. And I probably already was, but we made that an intention. And so we could choose whatever meal during the week was the most convenient for us, the easiest to have control over. And we would make that a vegan meal. And we did. And at some point, I don't even know how it happened, we stopped drinking milk. Almond milk on our cereal one day, boom, done. It wasn't even a conscious decision. But now, because of our attempt to eat vegan once a week, we have items in our pantry from which we can construct a plant-based meal any old time. And I know we do that more than once a week, even when we're on the road. Way more than 5%. It's a small contribution, but it's a contribution. How about electricity? How much electricity did you use last year? Could we use 5% less? What about just for a month? Look at your electric bill. What did you use in February? Are there things that we could do to use 5% less in the coming February? How many miles do we drive? Could we drive 5% less? Well, last year we certainly could, but this year, as we get back into the world, we're trying to hold to that. We're going to compress our tours a little bit geographically. And at home, we did a little better trip planning. Started stretching our weekly trips to just one more day, just a little bit less driving. Corner big enough to scare a real mouse. Nothing's gonna get clean around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. Guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. Tomatoes work too hard. Nothing good will ever grow around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. This whole thing down. Nothing's gonna get fixed around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start.
takes. We can set things right round here if we do our part. We got a little work to do. I guess we better start. We've got work to do. I guess we better start. We've got work to do. I guess we better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. And you got work to do. I guess you better start. We've got work to do. We've got work to do. We've got work to do.
I don't know, 5%. It's so little. So little. How could it possibly matter? Well, in the standard IQ test, people who score just 2 points above average are in the top 5%. A 5% dextrose solution is in the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines. A 5% saline solution turns a cucumber into a pickle. And Woodrow Wilson won the presidency by just 5%. So it does matter. But most important for me, 5% is easy. There's just less resistance to getting things done. I don't need a big motivational spike or a big burst of energy. Doing 5% isn't intimidating. And it's a lot harder to justify making excuses for doing that little. There's fewer needs and requirements to get something small completed, and there's so many easy wins. But the other thing about 5% is that it has cascading effects. We influence others with our actions, and we compound our results. So here was the big realization for me. Every single day, there are like 20 things going on that could just break my heart. I read the newspaper, and there's 20 serious issues that still need attention. There are kids separated from their parents at the borders still. There are obvious effects of institutional racism in my own town. Women are losing control of their healthcare decisions. Some of my neighbors have no access to health care at all. Voter suppression on the rise. Science is being ignored. Gun violence is on the rise. That's not even half the list. And I can't deal with all of that. I can't. I don't have the time, the energy, the knowledge, or the skills, and I certainly don't have the emotional strength to deal with any of that. And on so many days, I just found myself giving up entirely, giving up on all of it. And it didn't even seem like it was a big deal to give up because I was going to be so ineffective at impacting those 20 things. But 5% of 20? One thing. So what if I could concentrate on one thing? Be active doing just one thing. What if I could let the other 19 issues every day just go? Could I do that? How could I pick just one thing? Well, as some of you know, Aiden and I, we promote literacy through our songs. We write songs inspired by books. And we decided that we could do the same thing with childhood literacy using our music. Because the statistics surrounding childhood illiteracy are one more in that list of 20 horrible things. A child who doesn't learn to read at the 5th grade level has greater odds of living in poverty as an adult, an increased likelihood of health issues. They're more likely to end up in prison. In fact, so much more likely to end up in prison that the for-profit prison industry measures childhood illiteracy as part of their business model. And as horrible as that sounds, it implied to us a solution. And so a few years ago, we launched our Read, Love, Grow project to use our music in schools and libraries and aftercare programs to help get kids to like reading and feel like it's a cool thing to do. I never imagined this would be my one issue. I never would have chosen this as my 5%. We don't have kids. We've never been teachers. We'd never performed for kids before. But the thing is, it was the easiest thing for us to do. Doing this work, it used skills we already had, writing and performing music, and it fit into our lifestyle. We could just add a show into our existing tour schedule. In other words, we didn't need a big motivational spike or any grand effort. We literally just had to make another stop along the way. There's an existing structure that we could build into at libraries and schools and community centers. And so we planned on doing one show during every tour. But somehow it turned into 2 or 3. And we like playing music, so it doesn't actually feel like much work. Although sometimes it's a lot of work. Kids are exhausting. But we can manage that kind of energy level. And we had planned on doing these shows for free, and we do. But it turns out that there are places who have gotten small grants to produce programs like this, and they have to spend the money. And we're offering them a way to do that. And a couple of our adult audiences have chosen on their own, without us ever mentioning anything, to fund some additional shows. So our effort, our tiny little one thing, our tiny little 5%, inspired other people to contribute in a way that was easy for them. They just built on the framework that we had provided. So we went with what was easy. And I don't feel any guilt or any shame at all about that. We went with what we loved, books and music. And that's become a thing we can do second nature now. So we have the time and energy to add one more thing to our list. And we're focusing on climate change and sustainability. I don't have any guilt in doing what was really easy because it allowed me the energy to add one more thing. And we're going to focus on climate change the same way we did on children's literature. We're going to go with what's easy. We're going to lend our music to organizations that are looking to build some awareness, looking to build some community. We're just going to do what's easy, and that's going to be our 5%. Still not feeling any guilt about that. And you know what? I don't feel any guilt about letting some issues go anymore. I still care about them deeply, but I can only do so much. And I'm trusting that those other issues will fall into someone else's 5%. Someone for whom the effort of dealing with those issues is easy. It fits into their routine and uses their strengths. Because that's how it's really going to work. If every one of us, if you and me, we all give our 5%, that's a lot.
Okay.
And my mother never thought my daughter would still fight to speak her mind, to have a say in her own civil rights. When men declare her voice can't brothers came by ship, together with their clan. Architects of their own dreams, was this part of the plan? For every thug who guards the gate with a raised, clenched fist, there will always be men who coexist. There will always be, there will always be men who coexist. There will always be, there will always be men who coexist. One misguided spark falls on tinder to ignite a raging fire growing much too big to fight. Malicious mobs may tattoo numbers on their wrists, but there will always be angels in our midst. There will always be, there will always be angels in our midst. There will always be, there will always be angels in our midst. Be a woman who persists, be a man who coexists, be an angel, be an angel, be an angel in our midst. There will always be, 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 there will always be angels in our midst. Takes very little for each of us to be the angels in each other's midst. I know that in your minds you have kept the flame, our imaginary flame, lit and warm.
To extinguish our chalice today, words from Robert F. Kennedy. Few will have the greatness to bend history itself. But each of us can work to change a small portion of events. It is from numberless, diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance.
We extinguish the flame in our chalice, but not the flame that burns within your heart. Thank you.
Thanks.